Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct honor and my privilege to introduce to you a man who is a legend in the world of professional wrestling. He is the 8-time World Heavyweight Champion. He is a 5-time AWA Tag Team Champion, the first ever WWF King of the Ring, and he is quite simply the greatest wrestler on God's green earth. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Area 52, Hall of Famer, Harley Race.
It's a pleasure being with you guys.
Thank you, Harley. We appreciate you joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule to talk a little bit about professional wrestling. I often say, Harley, when it comes to you, that when you look up a sports entertainer in the dictionary, you would either see a photo of Hulk Hogan or The Rock. But when you are to look up the word wrestler in the dictionary, there should be no other picture than you, Mr. Handsome Harley Race.
I appreciate that, my friend.
Oh, it is. In my opinion, it is gospel and it is the truth. You have had such a phenomenal wrestling career. It is hard to sum it up in the short time that we have to speak to you today. But one of the things that I wanted to speak to you about, since we are based here out of Florida, and Florida has been such a hotbed for professional wrestling for so many years. It's coming up almost on 30 years, August 26, 1979. You won your 3rd NWA championship right here in Orlando, Florida. What memories do you have of wrestling here in the Florida territory?
Well, I started wrestling in Florida in the early 70s and did a fantastic job of running championship wrestling. It actually includes Alabama and a little South Georgia. It was a great place to be at the right point in time. Eddie was in the process of moving himself up the ladder in the NWA. Later become the upper echelon of it, and his territory, back then that was the word, kept it hands down above virtually everything else in the country.
Absolutely. He was a phenomenal promoter, and he is also a fellow WWE Hall of Famer, much like you, correct? One of the things that you did that I found quite interesting, because nowadays it's almost unheard of, and there are, I would say, unfortunately for the world of professional wrestling, less promotions right now. But one of the things that you did, which I find amazing about your career when you were champion, is you went into other territories and defended your NWA championship against their champions, such as the AWA and such as the WWF. Can you tell us a little bit about the background story behind that?
Well, the idea in doing that was hopefully to entice them into coming into the NWA. Vince Sr. was always a member, but not company-wise.
Yeah, and again, like I said, that was groundbreaking stuff, and that is essentially what I think you have been to professional wrestling. I think you have been a groundbreaking figure. You were definitely a polarizing figure, and you dominated the sport. In a career that has been so expansive and so wonderful, I realize it's hard to kind of pinpoint specific moments, but can you tell us, in your opinion, maybe what one of the top 1 or 2 moments in your career has been?
Any one of the 8 times that I became champion again, I'd be lying to myself if that didn't rank right up there as number 1.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you say that. Any one of the 8 times that you became champion, and that is truly, I think, what was the amazing feat, especially for that time period, Mr. Race, to win the title that many times. Again, just a groundbreaking performance by you. Talk to me a little bit. You've wrestled virtually everywhere. You've wrestled the Omni in Atlanta. You've wrestled the Garden, Madison Square Garden, and also the Boston Garden. You've been all over the Missouri territory and the Kansas territory. Tell me a little bit, going from, in the evolution of your career, going from small gymnasiums to what is viewed as the grandest stage in professional wrestling, and that was WrestleMania 3 in front of 93,000 plus. Tell me a little bit what that was like for you when you faced off against the Junkyard Dog.
Well, Anybody that was on that card, it was one of the highlights of their career. They're lying to you. Walking out in front of that many people, meaning that was going to be broadcast around the world, was totally one of kind, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I had the opportunity to be third of a triple main event, and yet at that level, at that point in time, that was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that was still one of the greatest events to, if not the greatest event to ever take place. And as I said, you've seen them all. You've headlined Starrcade, you've headlined WrestleMania. Just one of the again, one of the many accolades that goes along with your career. Now let's kind of shift gears a little bit and talk to you about what you're doing currently. Back in, I believe it was 1999. You founded World League Wrestling, which is your promotion out of Eldon, Missouri. Can you tell us a little bit what led you to get, I'll say, back into the promoting business with your own promotion?
Well, at that point in time, my wife, 19, she had completed a cycle that very few opportunity to do. She was vice president of Commerce Bank, president and executive officer.
Mm-hmm.
Fargo, when they decided to expand and come out here into the central part of the country, and chose her to lead that. She led it, had to be there 3 years for her to be able to retire with that salary increase.
Mm-hmm.
She decided to, at that point in time, we were both wanting to move down here and be at the lake, and did that, and we came down here, and after spending, think that you want to do all this stuff, but it became super boring as soon as the lake closed down for the season. So the only thing that I had ever done, wrestling, and she was organizing and putting things together. So we formed World League Wrestling, and we're still doing it.